I've been trading in and out of Apple stock for the last probably 8 years, since 2011, 2012. I've made some money here and there on some swing trades with Apple, but I've just finally come to realize through all the ups and downs, Apple is not the kind of stock that you want to trade in and out of. Apple's the kind of stock that you just buy and hold. Hold it for many, many years. And I think as we go into the 2020s, Apple will continue to be a very powerful growth stock for the next 10 years, for the next decade. Not only is it a growth stock, but it's a dividend growth stock. So it's one of the rare combinations where you get high growth potential and appreciation, and you get an ever increasing dividend. You get passive income ever increasing on an annual basis from that 100 billion in cash they just have laying around. So the dividend is very safe, and it's a technology growth stock. But what I like most about Apple, it's not just a tech company anymore. It's not just an iPhone company anymore. It's leveraged the iPhone over the last 10 years to become much, much more. One of the most unique and popular brands in the world. Apple is a luxury goods lifestyle company now. It's got something special. It's in a special brand category that can't easily be disrupted by another technology company, even if their tech is better. That was the worrisome thing over the 2010s decade about the competition with other cell phones. There have been plenty of other cell phone companies who've made more advanced phones than the iPhone. But the iPhone always stayed popular because it wasn't just the technology, it's the brand, the status of having an Apple product that Samsung, Sony, Huawei, they couldn't penetrate that status of having an iPhone. They couldn't duplicate that, the branding. So that's why I say Apple is like a luxury goods company, kind of like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, or Ferragamo, or any other French or Italian designer brand you can think of. It's the status of that brand. It's not necessarily, the product is good, but people buy Louis Vuitton and Gucci because of the brand. And the product is quality. And let me get into the quality from a tech point of view. Apple knows how to make technology fun and very user friendly. Very, very user friendly and fun to use. They've seemed to crack that code that a lot of other tech companies couldn't quite crack. So that's another attraction to the Apple product. Very, very easy to use. I remember when I had a BlackBerry phone, when those were the most popular phones at one point in the late 2000s. I had a BlackBerry. It was good, but it was more like for business people. It wasn't a fun, user-friendly experience. It had a little status to it at the time, but that was about it. The Blackberries didn't give you that fun, that pleasurable experience. And that's what the iPhone brought to the table. And that's what pretty much all Apple products bring to the table. Apple, I remember the knock on Apple was, oh, they need a new invention. The iPhone is getting old. If you really look at Apple's past, they never really invented anything. They just took whatever tech gadget was popular at the time and they made it more fun, more user-friendly, and designed it in a cooler way. That's basically, look at just the personal computer back in the late 80s, early 90s. They didn't invent the computer, but when Apple made a computer, they had a distinction to it. They looked cooler, they were designed a little sleeker, and they had a special cult following. Then you take the MP3 player. Apple didn't invent the MP3 player. But the other when they came out with the iPod, there were already other MP3 players out. But the iPod looked cooler. It functioned better. It was more durable. It had a sleeker look. So, because I remember the other MP3 music players, they were kind of, like I said, not user-friendly. They would malfunction easily. The iPod actually worked. Same with the cell phone. Before I got an Apple iPhone, all the other cell phones I ever had, they would malfunction within 1 year. 2 years if I was lucky. But within 1 year, 90% of them would malfunction. You get the iPhone, the current iPhone I have now, I've had it over going on 4 years. That's unheard of. With no mechanical problems. So, Apple has impressively made itself into just a general luxury brand. I mean, they got services now. They make money from the apps. They make money from the wearables, the watch, the AirPods. Oh, I forgot about the AirPods. They didn't invent the headphones. But these Apple AirPods, earbuds are just flying off the shelf because they work good, very user friendly, and they have a status symbol to them. You see someone with some off-brand earbuds, it's like, whatever. But you see somebody with some Apple earbuds, it's a conversation starter. It's like having a luxury brand that you're wearing. It's hard to duplicate the special niche that Apple has. Now they're getting into the streaming movies. They're getting revenue from that. They're getting revenue from Apple Music. They're coming out with a video game console, I believe, sometime 2020, 2021. I mean, that's another multi-billion-dollar industry within itself. That currently only Xbox and PlayStation dominates. I don't know what happened to Nintendo, but Apple, there's a lot of naysayers about Apple getting into the gaming industry, but I see that as I'm not going to doubt Apple anymore. Especially under Tim Cook. I like his management style. He's not the most creative guy, but he's a good manager. You can't knock him. I mean, to step into Steve Jobs' shoes and just to and to keep that ship floating and keep that stock going higher, keep the brand at a high level of desirability. Tim Cook has done a good job, but I believe it's bigger than Tim Cook. This is a company that can just keep growing at least for the next decade, because there's so many technological advancements that are going to happen within the 2020s that Apple is going to ride that wave and take advantage of. I mean, we got we're in the beginning stages of AI technology. We're in the beginning stages of robotic technology beginning to flourish. We got 5G coming on board. We got autonomous cars coming on board in the 2020s. It's going to be a new tech boom. Believe me on that. In the 2020s, and Apple, they're going to slap their name on some sort of new technology, service, or product that's going to keep the stock growing. And they got $100 billion to invest in anything and all kind of research and development to keep this train rolling. And trust me, when Apple rolls out that video game console, I'm almost sure that's going to fly off the shelves very fast. I mean, that'll be another status symbol to have. Oh, I got an Apple Game Cube or Game Pod, whatever they're going to call it. I don't know. But that's going to be another status symbol to have in the home. And they also have a whole new generation that's already hooked on the Apple brand. That's Generation Z. Those are kids who are probably in middle school or high school right now. That's a whole new generation of kids who are about to become adults, who've known nothing but Apple products their whole lives, because they were born sometime in the early 2000s. So they've grown up with iPhones and iPads in their hands when they were 7, 8, 9 years old. Now they're approaching 18 years old. A whole new generation that loves Apple products. That's why I'm so confident about the next 10 years, because you got a whole new demographic. Not only do you got the older generations, you got a whole new generation pushing demand. You got Generation X, the millennials generation, and now Generation Z. They all love Apple products. So for the next 10 years, I'm going to invest in Apple. I'm not going to trade it anymore. Also going to collect that dividend that's going to grow every year for passive income. Let me know what you think. Are you investing in Apple? Do you think it's a good buy for the next 10 years? Leave a comment below. I would love to hear your opinion.